Yo! What's going on, everybody? You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green, and I have been waiting for quite some time to do this live episode here on Giants Now by Chat Sports. We've got a fun one tuned up, ready to roll, rock and roll, whatever phrase you want to use. We got a fun one in store for all of the real ones out there. My guy Rashad in the chat saying, is this live? Yeah, it's live. We're putting it on like my boy Drew Lock. Shout out Young Jeezy. That's my guy right there. What up, Rashad? Oh, good to see you in the chat. But I am excited for today's show. We are going to do a fan-led, subscriber-led mock draft. We're going to go through all 7 rounds of an NFL draft, and we're going to let you guys decide the picks that the Giants are going to make, and then we will put this video out on the channel. So I'm excited to do that. We also have a mailbag coming up. So if you have questions that you want to get answered, as you know, hashtag Giants or Super Chat down in the comments. And also, we've spent a lot of time on this channel talking about players that the New York Giants should look to target in round 1 at pick 6 of the NFL draft. We haven't spent much time on who the Giants should select in round 2 at pick 47. So we're going to go through a handful of prospects that I think the Giants should look at in the second round. But first, shout out your city for me in the chat as we got my guy Jake Chipper in the building. Patrick Seatman, he called off work today. He's got to be running out of PTO sooner rather than later. But my guy Chip stepped up to the table. What's up, dude?
Come on, man. Big time players. This is what I do, baby. Step up when the other guys don't want to show up, man. Come on,
Seats is a guy that, you never know if you can trust him. Some people call him flaky. It is what it is. But I'm glad we got my boy Chip in the building. I'm excited for this fan-led mock draft, man.
Yeah, they're exciting, man. They're exciting. Let us see what the people want to do,
Yeah, hey, we'll find out. Are you guys going to want us to trade up to number 2, number 3, get a quarterback? We'll talk about that around the corner. Shout out your city for me, though, down in the comment section as we give everybody an opportunity to click on that notification, get their popcorn, find their seats, and get ready for the show. We actually went a little bit earlier today. And I think that's the Jake Chipper effect. With Patrick Seatman, we always roll late. Jake Chipper, he comes in, and he's got us live 8 minutes before we were supposed to go live.
That's what we do, baby. That's what we do.
Shout out to Chip. Seeps, of course, being sketchy as always. Shout out to Branky, Pokey Moore, Little Bulldozer, Ty Man, the Buckeye, Ohio. What's up, man? Branky's typing Joe Alt. I would love for Joe Alt to be a member of this team. Forget popcorn. I'm getting a pizza for this one, Marsh. Love you. That's good stuff. Blitz says sell the franchise. No, we're not selling the franchise. What is this? My guy Joe G tuning in from Florida. I saw Chris White in the chat. I saw RG. I saw my man Rosario Guzzo. What up, Guzzo? Amir. Mr. Rick is in the building. What's going on, Cha? TJ Spore. Everybody hanging up. Howdy from Houston, Marsh, my brother. Down in Houston, huh? What part of H-Town are you in? What part of H-Town are you in? I was actually born in New York, but I was raised in Houston, Texas. So I'm curious what part of Houston you're in. Branky says, who else from Dallas? We're actually live in the studios at Chat Sports in Dallas, Texas. What up, man? It's that boy Joe tuning in. What up, what up? Ty Man the Buckeye says it's April Fool's Day. It is. It is, but we don't have any jokes up our sleeve. Just the facts. That's what we do. That's what we do. Before we dive into today's show any further, I got to give a huge shout out to our proud sponsor, Game Time. Download the Game Time app by going into your app store and use the promo code ChatSports, and Game Time is going to hook you up with $20 off your first purchase. You get the best seats for the lowest prices, guaranteed. Also, prices drop as the events get closer. So for someone like me that's a little bit of a procrastinator and I don't want to spend money until I absolutely have to, the app Game Time is extremely user-friendly for me. And baseball season is here. I saw my guy, Mr. Rick, in the chat. 4-0. Not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 big ones against the Houston Cheat Tros. My guy Juan Soto was already making moves happen. Probably going to win MVP this year. Go catch him at the Bronx. Use Game Time to get your tickets and use Chat Sports to save $20 off because we know it's not really all that cheap to go to a Yankees game. But save yourself $20 with the promo code Chat Sports. I love it. It's easy. It's user-friendly. You get to see the view of the stadium, concert stage, or whatever through Game Time. It's the best app. I use it all the time. It's the only app I use now to buy tickets. It just fits my lifestyle. You guys should check them out and use the promo code ChatSports. Support the show. Support the sponsor. Be a real one. My guy, Mr. Big Moo, in the building. What's up, man? Shout out to Corinne doing her thing in the chat. The best mod there is here at Chat Sports. Shout out to everybody in the building. If you could, hit that thumbs up icon for me and name a player you want the Giants to draft. Chip, we are 24 days away from the NFL draft getting rolling, and I'm ready. I'm done. I'm tired of talking about it. I just want to know who the Giants are going to pick.
It's almost here, baby. I can't believe it. I feel like we just finished the season, man. It's crazy the sort of year-round cycle the NFL has nowadays.
They've literally found a way to dominate all 12 months. You get a little bit of 2 weeks in March for the NCAA tournament. You get opening day for the NBA. But besides that, like, the NFL has found a way to absolutely dominate the calendar all year long. And here we are on April 1st doing some mock drafts because we are ready.
Sir.
Ready to see what Joe Schoen is going to add to this football team. And it's a big draft. You got 3 picks inside the top 70. You need to probably find 3 starters. Giants have missed a couple times under Joe Schoen, early parts of the draft. They need to go out and get it done. Get it done today. Get it done today. 132 people watching. If you haven't yet, hit that thumbs up icon for me. Only 37 likes. These are rookie numbers. If you have liked the video, drop a me in the comment section. And I'm going to give shout outs to people who have liked the video because I'm showing love to people that show love to us here. Mark Estrada says a Dunze over Neighbors, just watch. I'm a Neighbors guy over a Dunze, but I'm not going to be mad at anybody. Dave McDrip in the chat. What up? Shout to Scaper, Ty Man the Buckeye, Tom Saunders. It's that boy Joe, the Big Moo. My guy Rashad, rookie numbers. Get those numbers up. Let's go. Shout to Amir, Jenny. Oh, we got a bunch of real ones in here. Guzzo says, Big Moo, my wife is making grilled pork chopsticks. I don't know what that's all about, but I need a plate, brother. I need a plate. RG showing love. That's what I'm talking about. Ray in the chat. OJ, Michael Cook, RG77. Ray says, we're in a situation to where we need to trade back. And I wouldn't be upset if we did. You have seen other teams do it, such as Chicago, just saying, look what Chicago has done in the last 3 years. I think that it's a little extreme to talk about the Chicago Bears trade down, considering they ended up getting the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft. The likelihood of that happening is probably not all that high. And I'm going to be honest, I don't want to trade down. I don't. I think you can get a blue chip prospect at pick number 6. The Giants, they traded down in that 2021 NFL draft. They passed up on selecting Rashawn Slater. They passed up on selecting Micah Parsons. And they traded down. They did get a future first-round pick, but they ended up drafting Kadarius Toney. And as we know, Kadarius Toney is Kadarius Toney. My guy, Broken Chip, 710 Jeremy in the building. What's up, Broken Chip? He says, do you think the Giants should do something crazy and draft a QB and a wide receiver one, go out, all out? I would be very happy, Mr. Broken Chip, if the Giants can find a way to draft a quarterback in round 1 and get one of those wide receivers in round 2. This is a deep wide receiver class. I like a lot of guys. I even like some third-round guys. And in today's video, we're going to talk about second-round draft targets. I'm going to mention some third- and fourth-round draft targets at the receiver position. There's some guys that I'm really, really high on. I want to see them get a shot. And I think the Giants, as we all know, need to add another big-time receiver to this team. Like, we all like Darius Slayton. He's a wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3, in my opinion. You got a guy like Wan'Dale Robinson. He's a good slot, but we haven't seen it all come together, especially hasn't lived up to the hype of being a second-round pick. And Jalen Hyatt, he needs someone that can throw the ball downfield. How many times did we see him running wide open, whether it be Jones or Tyrod or DeVito, not be able to give him the football? Giants need a new quarterback. They do. They need a franchise guy, and if there's one available, then go pick Broken Chip. Yeah, I would do it, and I would go all out. If it's one of the top 3 guys, I'm all in on May, I'm all in on Daniels, and Caleb Williams obviously is going to be the first overall pick. We are going to get to a mailbag in about 40 minutes, 45 minutes or so. We'll be live for the next hour and a half. If you want to get your question featured on the show, get down in the comments and use hashtag Giants. And producer Chip, he's going to be the guy putting the questions on the show. Usually Seeps puts some bad questions up. I don't think Jake Chipper's going to do that today. He's going to get it for us.
Get those good ones in, baby. I want to get as many all in there as I can. But they got to be good ones.
They got to be good ones. So hashtag Giants or Super Chat, the easiest way to get on the show. Just go in the comments section, ask whatever question about the Giants, and include the hashtag Giants in there. That way it can go through our software and producer Jake Chipper can get it up on the show. Shout out to Remy the Enforcer. I love that name, the Enforcer. You get called the Enforcer, you better be a big dog. You better be that dude. It says a Dunze in the first, possibly like a Knicks in second to sit and learn. First, thank you for the kind contribution. Thank you for supporting this channel. If you get Rome Odunze at pick number 6, that's going to be a great pick. He is my wide receiver 3, but I do think he is worthy of the 6th overall pick. I got Marvin Harrison Jr. 1, Malik Neighbors 2, and Odunze 3. And with receiver being one of the top needs on this team, you get wide receiver 3 in this draft. That's going to be a great outcome for Big Blue. When it comes to Bo Nix in the 2nd round, I don't know how Jake Chipper feels about Bo Nix. We've never done a live show like this together. I haven't gotten to ask him about his QB rankings. For me personally, I am not the biggest Bo Nix fan. I understand what he's good at, which is getting the ball out of his hands quickly, getting the ball to his receivers with room to operate. But at the end of the day, I feel like it was kind of a Mickey Mouse offense that they ran in Oregon. A lot of throws at the line of scrimmage, a lot of screen passes, a lot of slip screens, not a lot of throws down the field. And for me, Chip, I just can't get the Auburn. I can't get the Auburn Bo Nix out of my head.
That's so long ago, though,
I
man.
know it was.
Different player nowadays,
He
man.
is a different player. He's like 35 years old now.
Yeah, see? Experience. I like him. Not in the first. I wouldn't take him first round, but I would love the situation. Take him
Pick
in second.
47. If he's on the clock at 47.
If he's there in the second, he can sit. But who's he sitting behind, man?
Daniel Jones.
Come on, you need someone in there to teach him, man.
What about Drew Lock?
Okay. Bo Nix might be better than Drew Lock right now. Right now.
I don't hate Bo Nix, and I feel like that's sometimes how I come across. For me, though, it comes down to this. Do I think Bo Nix can be a Super Bowl champion at quarterback? I don't know. And in my opinion, if you don't think that, why are you drafting him? You go back to some of the mid-round picks at quarterback, all the way back to 2017, 2016. A lot of them really haven't hit. Jalen Hurts hit. Brock Purdy hit. A lot of them haven't. Matt Corral didn't work. You can go through the list of all the quarterbacks. I didn't want to count last year because I think it's too soon. I do think that Levis has some strong potential. I actually liked what he put on tape. But remember, there was talk about Will Levis being a top 5 pick last year. For me, it's kind of just J.J. McCarthy, Jayden Daniels, Drake Maye, or obviously Caleb Williams, or bust for me at the quarterback position.
Are you a Rattler guy?
I do love Spencer Rattler. I don't love that he's already 24.
Yeah.
I like him, and I've stood on this very show, and I've pounded the table for Spencer Rattler. I think he's got an A-plus arm. I love the way he spins it. I do get a little bit worried that he has a controversial history, I guess you could say. I hated him on that QB1 show. I thought he was just a real D-bag. But you know what, Chip? You were probably a D-bag just like I was at age 18 and 17. Imagine if we had a TV show around us.
Yeah, that's a hard thing to handle,
We're different now. You can grow up, and you can be a new person. I would take Rattler in round 4, but I don't think he lasts till round 4. I just think the Giants have bigger needs than... I don't know.
It's tough.
It's hard to evaluate these quarterbacks, man. It really is, because it's so much about what happens after the draft for their development. Are you going to be investing offensive linemen around him? Are you going to be able to get playmakers around him? Giants haven't really been able to do that, and hey, that's why Joe Schoen's paid the big bucks, and that's why his seat is going to heat up really quickly if he has another lackluster draft. OJ coming in with a $5 super chat. What up, OJ? What if the Giants traded down, got Joe Wall, and used a package for Ayuk or Higgins and or landed a second-round pick like Penix? I would love for the Giants to go out and get Joe Wall. I have Joe Wall as my 3rd overall player on my big board. I think he's a can't-miss prospect. I think he's going to walk into the National Football League, and by the end of year 1, we're going to look at him like we did Penei Sewell. We're like, that guy just came in, he did exactly what we thought, and he's going to dominate. But I have gotten no indication from anyone I've talked to that the Giants are going to draft an offensive tackle. They went out and signed Jermaine Illuminor. He's going to start at right guard, but he's going to bounce out to tackle if Evan Neal struggles. And I'm not so sure that, even though I know the Giants understand at this point that they can't put all their eggs in the basket of Evan Neal, they're not ready to just give up on him. They want to see him one more year under Carmen Brasillo, the new offensive line coach. And if you draft all, you're pretty much saying we're giving up on Evan Neal after just 2 seasons. When it comes to trading for Ayuk or Higgins, I believe if you trade for either one of those guys, you're going to have to give up a future first-round pick at minimum. So that would be a lot to give up for a receiver. And when it comes to a second-round pick like Penix, I don't believe Penix will be there at 47, and I think Penix might actually be a top 20 pick now. Like, are the Broncos just going to sit on their hands? Are the Raiders just going to sit on their hands? There's a lot of QB-needy teams, Chip. The Broncos are going to take someone in the first round, I think.
He's getting buzz, man. He's starting to get a lot of buzz. We're going to see. You know, it's a lot of smoke screens.
A lot of smoke,
into the draft.
a lot of mirrors.
I do like Penix, though, man.
I like the way he
Penix
slings
a lot. He can sling the rock.
It flies out of his hand. It really, really does. Like Nix, I worry a little bit about the age. I worry a little bit about the injury history. But when you talk about someone that throws from a clean, and that's probably the worst way to evaluate quarterbacks because you very rarely get a clean pocket in the NFL. But when you have a clean pocket and you need someone to throw it outside the numbers, I think Penix does it better than anybody in this class. The offense at Washington was a little 7-on-7-ish, a lot of concept with those wide hash marks and things like that where they are literally putting pressure on every blade of grass. We'll see how that offense translates to the NFL this year with Seattle Seahawks hiring some coaches from there. If Penix is there at 47, pull the effing trigger. No doubt about it. I just don't think he will be.
Nah.
I am pretty dang confident he will not be. As Joe Esposito coming in with a $5 super chat and a first-time super chatter. Shout to Joe Esposito. I hope I'm saying that right. Adding a little flair on that for some reason. I don't know why. Says, I thank you, bro. Says, I don't see the Giants taking a QB, draft a wide receiver, and give Daniel Jones one more year with, at most, decent O-line. If anything, in 2025, take Shadur Sanders. So I can totally understand the logic of the Giants drafting a receiver to give Daniel Jones a chance. My question now to all 185 people watching is this. If you give Daniel Jones a chance this year, what does he have to do to make sure he's not cut? Because if the Giants cut Daniel Jones after the 2024 season, they save $22 million. If he's on the Giants roster in 2025, he costs north of $45 million. So if you're going to give him a chance, which the Giants are probably going to do, they've already invested $45 million in him. They're hoping they can hit lightning in a bottle with that. If you give him a chance, what does he have to do on Sundays for 18 weeks next year to be the starting quarterback going forward? I think you got to make the playoffs, and I need to leave the 2024 season saying, I think Daniel Jones can win a Super Bowl. Because I'm not paying a quarterback $47 million and the third year of their contract if they don't win a Super Bowl. So my next question is any of that even attainable? If you think there is, sure, give Daniel Jones a chance. If not, let's move on and let's find our future guy. King Lobo says he got to get into a Super Bowl. White Lotus says if he gets injured, we have to pay him in 2025. It's true. If he gets injured and he can't pass a physical in the early part of the spring in 2025, his contract pretty much becomes fully guaranteed. Joe 2 times says it's over for Jones. Cha says win the Super Bowl and be the league MVP. Anything short of that, I want him gone.
If he wins a couple playoff games.
Like, what if he goes out and he wins the NFC East? Not going to happen. We're living in La La Land.
But like
now.
theoretically, if he does, goes out, wins you 12 games,
He's back next year.
I mean, how can you cut him? How can you say he's gone?
For me, I don't know. It's like, I don't know if it's necessarily Chip like he has to do X, but I need to have a feeling that one, $47 million is an appropriate amount of money to pay him in 2025. And two, I need to believe I can win a Super Bowl with him. Because if not, why is he your quarterback?
He's got to be consistent every week.
And
every
healthy.
week and healthy. I don't think you can have him go out there and two good weeks and then, oh, what was that? You know?
It can't be the up and down.
No.
I need to see steady development. I need to see growth. And when the Giants season ends, if it's not in a Super Bowl victory, I need to be able to say, I believe in Daniel Jones. If not, I'm moving on. Let's go Giants, my man, coming in with a $2 super chat. Always showing love, always in the building. What's up, my man? He says, our first pick to the Vikings for JJ and 26th pick, as in Justin Jefferson. If you are, I don't think the Vikings would trade Justin Jefferson for just the 6th overall pick. I think it would have to be 6 overall plus some stuff to get Justin Jefferson. So for this one, I don't think there's any way we could get back the 26th pick in a trade. And on top of that, I know that, look, Justin Jefferson is better than Malik Neighbors. Justin Jefferson is better than Marvin Harrison Jr. But do I want to have to pay a receiver $35 million as the Giants are at the first stage of a true rebuild while you don't even have a quarterback? Why not just take the guy that's going to go 6th overall and have a cost-controlled contract for the next 5 years? For me, if you could get Justin Jefferson for 6, sure, you'd do it because he's the best skill position player in the league. 1, I don't think that's possible. 2, I think it's better asset management-wise to just stick and pick at 6 and get a 21-year-old wide receiver that you hope one day can even scratch the surface of Jefferson, and he doesn't cost you $35 million in year 1. That's just how I feel about that. As my guy Mars in the chat, he'll be here spitting some bad takes about the Celtics and about J.J. McCarthy and about our New York Knicks. I'm just kidding. What up, Mar? That's my guy right there. Make sure you are watching this video and have liked the video. If you have liked the video, give me a me in the chat. And if you want to be featured on a mailbag, hashtag Giants or Super Chat. Hashtag Giants or Super Chat to get on the mailbag. We got a fan-led mock draft coming up. Second-round draft targets coming up, as well as a Q&A. As Disc Golf with Elijah coming in with a $1 Super Chat. You like that? I can spin the Frisbee on the beach, man. You ever thrown a Frisbee on a beach?
Oh, of course. Dude. I played Frisbee in college, man.
You did?
I did indeed.
Oh. Are there like positions in that?
Yeah.
Like some people more looked as a receiver compared to a thrower?
Yeah, I mean, it's mostly just are you a cutter or are you a thrower?
Okay.
But
cutter is your receiver, I'm assuming.
Defense, there's positions. There's positions on defense. Offense, yeah, it's pretty much just cutter or receiver. Or cutter or thrower, sorry. You
were probably a cutter?
Oh, yeah.
Can you fling it?
I could throw it pretty decently like back, like this, but flick.
The people that do it like this are crazy.
Nah, like I learned a little bit, but there's people that can just fling that thing like that, like 60 yards down the field, man. I'm like, I don't even understand. Mine just goes like it just doesn't. I don't get it.
No, my pops, he can sling a Frisbee, man. He taught me how to throw it. He can sling it. Disc Golf with Elijah. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for supporting the show. If you have a question, drop it in the comments, and I'll answer that for you. Hayden Parker, $5 super chat. Thank you, man. Thank you for supporting the show. I don't see how Joe Schoen doesn't draft a QB this draft, as how can you trust DJ anymore? And it secures he definitely 2 more years at minimum as general manager. I agree with a lot of that. I don't see how Joe Schoen doesn't draft a quarterback. I'll get to that in a second. How can you trust Daniel Jones anymore? I think it's not that they trust Daniel Jones. I think it's that they want to try to find a return on their investment. You're already paying him $47 million on the books for 2024. So if you are, you're going to drive that car. Like you buy a $47 million car, even if you figure out it's not a car you want next year, you're going to try to get the most usage out of that car and hope that Daniel Jones can prove everybody wrong that he's still that guy. So they're going to do that, whether that means they have confidence in him or not. I think they want to give Daniel Jones a chance to earn a roster spot for next year. When it comes to this last point, it secures he definitely has 2 more years at a minimum. If I'm Joe Schoen, I go up to John Mara, and I would assume that this conversation has already started. I would say, John Mara, give me 3 years. Give me 3 years. And if you don't, I'm just going to draft a quarterback to prolong my time as a general manager here. Whereas if you give me 3 years, I don't have to trade up for a quarterback. I can build the supporting cast around this team. I can draft Malik Neighbors. I can draft Roma Dunze. That way, when I draft a quarterback next year, the offensive line is in a better spot. The receivers are in a better spot. The complementary pieces around me are better. But if you tell me I gotta start winning now, I'm going to draft a quarterback now to give myself a longer leash like you talked about. But there needs to be an honest conversation and transparency with Mara and Schoen. You say, John Mara, do you believe in me? He's going to say yes. Well, then give me the actual chance to build this thing the right way. I don't think it's fair for John Mara to change the expectations of the Joe Schoen tenure just because he had outsized success in year 1. No one thought the Giants were winning a playoff game in year 1. And that shouldn't accelerate the rebuild because the rebuild always was going to happen. We saw that in year 2. We tried to cheat the system, trade a 3rd-round pick for Waller, invest in some older free agents, and we got bit in the ass because of it, and now we're back in step 1. Build it the right way. If there's a quarterback you love, no matter what, you go and get them. But don't pigeon yourself into a spot where you have to draft a quarterback just so you reach and try to extend your timeline. Long answer. I hope that made some sense. That's where I stand on that. We're about to get rolling here on today's show. 230 people watching. If you have liked the video, give me a real one down in the comment section. We got 77 likes. I'm giving shout outs to everybody. Pigeonhole yourself. You're the best at this. Exactly. There was one time I was doing a game time read after I had already done 2 boots and a shotgun. And I said, you get the breast seats for the breast prices guaranteed. And literally the entire chat just started typing breast. And guys like Michael Cook have not forgotten.
They're not going to let you forget.
No, and I don't want them to hold me to a high standard. Look, I struggle at speaking a little bit sometimes, but we know a couple things about football.
When you're off a couple boots.
When you're off a couple boots and a couple shotties, if you're not slurring your words, you might need to go to an AA meeting. Give me a real one in the chat if you've liked the video. We got 90 people watching. Can we get to 100 likes? 100 likes. I want you guys to stick around. We're going to do round 2 draft targets right now. That'll be the next 15 minutes. I'm going to go through positions of needs for the Giants that they could target in round 2. But in 20 minutes, we're doing a fan-led mock draft. A subscriber-led mock draft. So one, if you're not subscribed, change it, hit that sub button. And you guys are going to be making the picks. You're going to be making the picks. I'll be your assistant GM. Chip's going to be John Mara. He'll be right there watching you. He'll be assisting with the picks. That's around the corner. So take a seat, get your popcorn, and like the video because we're 4 likes away from 100. Shout out to everybody in the building. Bryce says real clowns. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Alzo in the building. That's my guy right there. What's going on, Alzo? Happy Monday to you. Hope you're having a good one. Shout out to Guzzo. Viral rival. You got to be careful saying that. Let's Go Giants says, I got to go. I have testing. I hope you studied, brother. Hope you studied. If not, definitely. Actually, I was going to say something that was probably very inappropriate.
Oh.
But you know what? We'll be good here. We'll be a good young Marshy today. The Big Moo, Gus Nini, Mucho Frio says, this is Gritty Guapo. My name is showing wrong. Gritty Guapo. That's my guy right there. He was the winner of our jersey giveaway on day 1 of free agency. Hopefully that's going to get to you soon, brother. I actually probably need to check on the shipping on that. I will do that. Yeah, PTO. Why? I will check that. Our shipping team has been out of town the past couple of days, so I'll try to get that settled. 2 likes away from 100 likes. Hit that thumbs up icon. As Poke Jake or P0K3JAK3? Yeah, that's definitely it. Shout out to my guy tuning in. Thanks for showing some love. Thanks for hanging out with us here on a Monday as we're getting ready to dive into our shows. So let's get into it. 230 people watching, 99 likes. Who's going to be the 100th like? Let's get it on.
Come on.
Let's get it on. Let's rock. Welcome into New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. In today's video, we're focusing on the NFL draft because we're about 3 weeks away from this getting kicked off, and we're going to see if Joe Schoen and the front office can get the Giants back on track. We've talked a lot about the first round. We've talked a lot about pick 6 on this channel, about trading up, potentially trading down, and who the Giants should pick. But it's not just a draft that has one round. There's 7 rounds. And the Giants, they hold pick number 47, and they have a great opportunity to add a great football player to their team with that selection, and they need it to be a starter. We're going to show you some players at positions of need the Giants should target in round 2. But first, make sure you are subscribed to the channel because we are going to be live for day 1 of the NFL draft, and I want to see all your beautiful faces there, even to Bronx Boy. So subscribe and turn your notifications on so you never miss a thing. So the way I kind of wanted to go about this was first kind of zooming out and talking about team needs. Not going to go on a full thing about how the Giants need a quarterback. And honestly, I don't know if a quarterback is going to be on the board at pick 47. I'm not going to be surprised if Michael Penix as well as Bo Nix are gone by then. But the Giants absolutely have to address the cornerback position. They need to improve the interior defensive line. And whether it's running back, whether it's receiver, or whether it's tight end, the Giants have to add more offensive weapons. So let's start at the cornerback position. I went through a PFF mock draft. I stopped it at pick 47, and I'm now looking at the best players that were on the board. Let's start at the corner position. Mike Sanderstill, the slot corner from the University of Michigan. If you watched the national championship, you saw number 0, the slot corner, the do-it-all DB, the defensive playmaker. He was here, he was there, he was everywhere against Washington. He was dominant. 5'10", 182 pounds, 44 tackles, 6 INTs, and 6 pass breakups last year. He is ranked by PFF as a top 40 player in this class. And with the need the Giants have on the cornerback depth chart, Sanderstill would be a great pick. He reminds me somewhat of Brian Branch last year. He is just a football player, man. He just makes plays. He's got a nose for the ball, and he finds a way to get it done. That's how he had 6 PBUs last year, 6 INTs. He had a sack, a couple of forced fumbles, as well as a couple tackles for loss. And when he was in coverage, operating out of the slot, which he's done for more than almost 1,000 snaps in the last 2 years, he was really, really good. He allowed just 29 completions on 50 attempts, less than 415 yards. He did allow 4 touchdowns, but he canceled that out with 6 PBUs, 6 INTs, and when targeted, he only allowed a QB rating of 71.8. If you're looking to find a slot corner, which the Giants are, Sanderstill might be one of the best, if not the best, in this draft class. If you're looking for more of an outside corner, Kamari Lassiter, the 6-foot, 180-pound outside corner from Savannah, Georgia. And the Bulldog, I think, was the best available at pick 47 when I ran that mock draft. Didn't test all that well at the combine, didn't even participate in some of the speed and agility testing. But when you turn on the tape, you see an SEC corner that did really well the entire year. Didn't even allow a single touchdown this past year in 14 games played. Only allowed 15 catches on 39 targets. Only 136 yards, 8 pass breakups, no INTs, and a 48.7 QB rating. Do I think that one day he could be a cornerback 1? Yeah, but I think he settles in more in his career as a CB2. And that is fine because the Giants already have Deonte Banks. And if you could have Banks and Lassiter as your boundary corners for the next couple of years, you're going to be in a really, really good spot. Corner needs to be a high priority for the Giants. I know they invested a first-round pick last year in Deonte Banks, and I thought Banks played pretty good for his rookie year. Needs to tighten up a couple of things, but but he was a rookie, and I expect him to be a big-time player this year. Outside of Banks, though, it's nothing but question marks for me on this Giants corner depth chart. I like Nick McLeod, but I don't want him being my boundary corner. He's more of a slot for me. Cordell Flott, I begged to win the starting slot position last year, and he could not do it. He struggled after being a third-round pick out of LSU. I still believe in the player, but it's getting to the point where it's now or never for him as he's entering year 3. Trey Hawkins, sixth-round pick last year out of Old Dominion. He's not ready. Aaron Robinson essentially hasn't played in 2 years, and you bring back Darnay Holmes on a veteran minimum deal. The Giants need another big-time player in this depth chart, so I want you to pick it for me. Would you rather Kamari Lassiter, the outside boundary corner out of Georgia, be the guy, or Mike Sanders still, the playmaking, ball hawk, turnover-creating slot corner on this team? Shane Bowen likes to play with a lot of DBs. He operated at a dime, the second most out of the NFL last year. That's 6 DBs on the field. If you're going to do that, you're going to need guys that can cover and tackle. You pick the player you want to see in Big Blue next year. From corner to receiver, Xavier Legette is one of my favorite players in this draft class. We've talked about him for quite some time on this channel. If DK Metcalf and Deebo Samuel had a baby, that is Xavier Legette. The thing that kind of concerns me about him, it took him till his last year at South Carolina to really pop off, but the production and the tape is awesome. You go and watch Spencer Rattler tape, and all you're going to see is Xavier Legette going up to the top shelf and going and getting it. He's a true outside receiver. I'd love him at 47. He just may not be there. Another receiver that you could look at is Keon Coleman. True outside guy, doesn't really operate out of the slot. The 40 time was disappointing, to say the least, but I don't want to get caught up in the 40 time. All these schools wear those new sports bra type of things, the catapult things, that test your GPS. They show you how fast you're playing in game, and the pros, they have access to that. The pro coaches and scouting department, they have access to that type of data. I don't love Keon Coleman, but at 47, I think it'd be a good pick, 6'4", 215. Vertical threat, can push it up top. Good player. Ladd McConkey is another name that I think everyone should get to know as a potential pick at number 47. Didn't have the most production at Georgia, but he tested better than almost everybody at the position at the combine. 6 foot, 185 pounds, extremely fast, extremely athletic, and I think with a bigger role and a more focused offense that wants to prioritize his production, it could work out. Thing is, he mainly operates out of the slot, and the Giants already kind of have their slot receiver in Wan'Dale Robinson. McConkey, like Roman Wilson, is a slot receiver. So I'm not sure how high the Giants would be on him. You technically have 2 slots if you do go 4 wide. But Roman Wilson, he's a great blocker. I think that goes underrated as a receiver. I believe that he can win in the slot as well as on the outside. And I think in more of a offensive attack that wants to throw the football, Wilson could be a pretty decent receiver. Jalen Polk is a player that, like in November and December, he was guaranteed to go in round 2. But for some reason, he somewhat slipped in this pre-draft process. Didn't just light up the combine, but I'm not going to react too much to that. You watch the tape of Washington, and he pops off the page every time you watch. 70 grabs, almost 1,200 yards, 9 touchdowns, true outside receiver, like a true outside receiver. He's one of the best contested catch guys in the league. He pushes the field vertically. He makes a lot of sense for me. Jalen McMillan, the other receiver out of Washington, I think makes sense for the Giants. He should be available at pick number 47. Different than Polk, can line up in a more versatile way. Still a really good player, and I'd like to see him on this team. These next couple of guys I want to talk about at the receiver position are more so sleepers. And I kind of hate that term, but I don't know. 47 is going to be a reach maybe on some of these guys. But Javon Baker out of Central Florida, number 1 in college football last year in yards per catch. 52 grabs, almost 1,140 yards, north of 21 yards per catch. He is a big play machine. One of the best contested catch rates, a true receiver. Would love to see him on this football team. He may be round 3, though. And Malachi Corley, the Yak King, everybody's calling him. Steve Smith loved him. He is a special, special player. Elite after the catch. He eats up yards. Joe Schoen has made it a priority when talking about receivers to talk about generators with the football in their hands. That's exactly what Malachi Corley is. And I saw him in Matt Miller's mock draft go 52. He might be the guy at pick 47. Name a receiver you want the Giants to draft, though. Mainly talking about second-round draft targets in today's video, but if you want to mention a Malik Neighbors or a guy like Roma Dunze or whoever it may be, name a receiver you want to see the Giants select in the NFL draft. We still have many more players to talk about in round 2, but first, let's talk about Game Time, my favorite app to use when I'm trying to buy tickets to a sporting event, a concert, a theater event, or a comedy show. Download the Game Time app by going into the App Store, use that promo code chatsports, and chatsports promo code will save you $20 off. What I love about it is the prices drop as the events get closer, and you also get to see a view of the stadium, court, concert stage, or so much more from the seat that you're thinking about buying. Baseball season is here, ladies and gentlemen. Go catch a Yankees game in Juan Soto. Go watch the Mets play. You can also go to a concert and so much more. It's not just Giants games. Check them out and use the promo code ChatSports, and you're going to get $20 off. Best seats, lowest price guaranteed. Prices of the events drop as the day gets closer, and they also have these flash deals where they will let you know when the best prices are going on. Check them out. It's a promo code ChatSports with the app Game Time. Download it. All the information is clickable in the comments and description. We talked about at the beginning of the show that offensive playmaker is a position of need for the Giants. That can include tight end, receiver, or running back. And I believe Jayden Sanders is the number 2 tight end in this class, and he is a stud. Prior to working at Chat Sports, I was a Dallas sports reporter. I covered high school football. I got to cover Jayden Sanders very closely. I went to many of his games. I've gotten to talk to him. I've gotten to interview him. This guy was a 5-star player coming out of high school as a tight end and a D end. Whenever they needed pressure, they put him in. He is a physical freak. He is a crazy, crazy player, and he is a stud and explosive playmaker at 6'4", 243 pounds. And with the thought and idea that Darren Waller may retire, the Giants need to go out and add another playmaker at this position. Waller, I think his best days are behind him, and for me, I would just cut him. If you're thinking about retirement, you're already 1 foot out the door, and you could just go. I like Daniel Bellinger, but I think he's more of a tight end too. And you talk about the guys that they signed this offseason, and Chris Manhertz and Jack Stoll. Those are blocking tight ends. And Tyree Jackson, he is a quarterback turned tight end. So, yeah, you need more talent there. And Jayden Sanders, JT Sanders, he is a stud. Braden Fisk, the do-it-all interior defensive lineman for Florida State. Somehow in the mock draft I ran, he fell to pick 47. I don't know if that'll happen in real life, but if he is, that should probably be the pick. His tape is incredible. He is one mean SOB, and his athletic profile is incredible. I'm going to quickly pull up his RAS score from the combine. He was awesome, like incredible. He got rated out, RAS scores from 0 to 10. He was graded out as 9.97. He ran a 4.78 40 at 292 pounds. The guy is crazy. Him, Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, yeah, sign me up. If you want to look at another defensive tackle, I think Chris Jenkins, one of the best, if not the best run-stopping defensive tackle in this draft, could be your man at pick 47. 6'3", 305 pounds, beefing up the trenches on defense is something that I would absolutely be a fan of, because outside of Dexter Lawrence, the Giants' defensive tackle roster and depth chart is a little bit questionable. Shout out to my man Nacho, Raheem Nunez-Roches, but he was brought here to be a DT3. I like Jordan Riley, and I like DJ Davidson, but there's still question marks entering the league as they're only in year 2 and year 3. Boogie Basham is more so an outside guy. I don't even know if he's going to make this team. So whether it's Fisk or whether it's a guy like Chris Jenkins, I think it makes a lot of sense for the Giants to prioritize that position, whether it is in round 2 or round 3. If you want to beef up the offensive line even more, the best guard in this class might be Christian Hayes, the interior offensive lineman at a UConn. Pro Football Focus, they graded him out very nicely because he is a very nice football player. Athletic profile was awesome. One of the best testing linemen at the Combine. 80 overall grade from Pro Football Focus across the board. I know the Giants went out and signed John Runyon, and they went out and signed Jermaine Illuminor, but I still think there needs to be more additions to this offensive line. I have Haynes as the best guard in this class, and I think he could be a starting right guard or left guard, and you could bounce out Illuminor to right tackle if Evan Neal does struggle this year. I want to see Runyon on that left side. He said he's more comfortable there. But the thing I love about Illuminor, and we've talked about this for months, is his ability to play multiple positions. He's played right guard, he's played left guard, and he had his best year of his career this past year with Las Vegas and Carmen Brasillo at that right tackle spot. Haynes in round 2 would be a great, great pick. Maybe not sexy, but sexy doesn't win in this league. Maulers in the trenches do. Let's talk about some defensive players now. We talked at the top of the show about corners. I got Jaden Hicks as one of my best safeties in this class. You let a guy like Xavier McKinney go, and I totally understand it because I don't know if you want to pay a safety $17 million, but Hicks, find him at 47. He's a do-it-all safety. I think that makes a lot of sense. The next best safety that was on the board was Javon Bullard, and man, I'm a fan of both of these guys. I really, really am. I don't know if I would be in love with drafting a safety in round 2 just because I think there's other positions of need. And I'm honestly confident in Jason Pinnock and Dane Belton holding down the fort for this team. Pinnock, I think, is extremely underrated, and I'm ready for Dane Belton to be unleashed and unlocked and let him play all the snaps. Somehow the football always finds itself around Dane Belton. He is a turnover-creating machine. He is a big play playmaker. He really, really is. Used a 4th-round pick out of him in the draft in 2022, I believe that was, or 2022 out of Iowa. I want to see him have more free reign this year, more ability to make plays. I would like the idea of drafting a safety in round 2, but I think there's bigger positions of need, and I have more confidence in this room than I think a lot of people do. But I do understand that they need to add more talent because Javarius Owens, a 7th-round pick out of U of H, and Jalen Mills, probably not the most talent or depth there. What player do you want the Giants to draft in round 2, though? We talked about some receivers. We talked about some corners. We talked about a tight end. We talked about some safeties. We talked about some DTs. I know it's largely dependent on who you pick at number 6. That'll probably alter the way you go about making moves in round 2. But now's your time to sound off. Give me a player you want to see playing for Big Blue next year that you could pick at number 47. Make sure you are following me over on social media as well. Trying to get my social media game up a little bit. And I'm tweeting about the Giants and I'm posting about the Giants almost every single day. So give me a follow over there and let's go Big Blue. All right.
All right.
Michael Cook says, so completely erase your defensive centerpiece to take a risk on a college player. Makes total sense. I think it comes down to more so Michael Cook that the Giants were at the part of the rebuild where they couldn't pay a safety $16 million. If you did, you probably don't get Runyon, or you probably don't get Illuminor, and you probably don't get Brian Burns. I understand that people are upset that Xavier McKinney left as he is just 24 years old, but there's only so many slices of the pie that can go around. And I actually am a fan of the way the Giants operated, putting more resources into more premium positions. I wasn't talking about X. Who on defense did they lose? That was the centerpiece. Let me know. Kim9 God coming in with a super chat. Thank you for supporting. Give Jones one more year. Grab wide receivers now. Maybe CB. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, we're not trading Dexter Lawrence. Okay. Yeah, I didn't say that. So, no, we're not doing that. Give Jones one more year. He's going to get one more year. It'll be his opportunity to do something with it or not. So, yeah, I agree. Get some wide receivers. Grab another corner. So I'm with that. Joey DeLuca coming in, supporting the show. Joey, shout out to you, my man. Shout out to you. Appreciate you for always tuning in. Thanks for always being a real one. Shout out to my man, Joey DeLuca. And then Mucho Frio. What's up, dog? Mucho Frio. Sunglasses perpetually fall onto video game controller. Proud face. My man, I'm guessing they sent an emoji. Our software will sometimes transcribe emojis.
That's funny. Yeah, he sent one of those stickers.
That's good stuff. Mucho, if you have a question, if you want to say something about the Giants, I would love to answer it. Just drop it in the comments for me.
Yeah, he's like, what in the world?
Our software will do that sometimes. As Dubman, what's up, Dubman? He says, JJ is booty. If we can get a top 3 QB, pick up Keon or Leggett into second, or Neighbors/Rome at 6, CB at 47, and OG at guard. At this point, we'd have to build with DJ. JJ is booty. Okay, that's your take on that. If we can get a top 3 QB, pick up Keon and Leggett in a second. Yeah, if you can walk away with Maye, Daniels, or Williams, yeah, I think you pull the trigger, and I do think you draft a receiver in round 2. Or Neighbors Rome at 6, cornerback at 47, offensive guard at 70. I'm absolutely cool with that as well. Receiver, corner, offensive guard at 70, I'm cool with that. Yeah, I'm right there with you. You got it figured out, big dog. Tell Joe Schoen. We got a mailbag coming up in about 20 minutes or so. If you send in a super chat and it's applicable to the New York Giants, we will feature those in our mailbag. But if you want to get on the mailbag, drop a question in the comment section and use hashtag Giants. And producer Chip, he's going to pick the best ones to get on today's show. We got 230 people watching, only 135 likes. If you could, please hit that thumbs up icon for me. It's the easiest way to support the program as we have our live fan-led mock draft about to get rolling on today's show. So Chip, this is my first time spinning the block here on a fan-led mock draft. Do you want to let the people watching know kind of the process of this? I could do it, but I would like to see you do it.
Absolutely. So we're going to be using PFF's mock draft simulator here. And the way it's going to work, and I can show you all this right now so that we know heading into here, right?
Let's do it.
For every pick, we're going to put a poll up in the chat, and we'll have 4 different players available. And you can, for totally free, for nothing, you can just click what player you want us to draft at that pick, right? So say at 6 we have a few players, say it's Marvin Harrison, Malik Neighbors, whatever. Pick in the poll which one you want. Now, if you want your votes to count for extra and you want your opinion heard even more, you can see right here, if you send in 5 or less, you'll get 2 votes. $5, you'll get 10 votes. $10, you'll get 30 votes. $20, you get 75 votes. And obviously, those will just add on to whatever the total is for that player you select. And when you send in the super chat, by the way, put the name of the player.
Make sure you say which player you want.
Say which player you would like. Because you can also suggest another player, and if you get more votes. But if you send in 50, it's the first person to send in a 50 for that pick. That's it.
That's a pick.
You can make the picks. You can trade out if you want. You can pick whoever you would like. It'll be totally up to you. And we'll go through every pick, all 7 rounds, and we'll start as well. Obviously Giants pick 6. Maybe we trade up.
Maybe we can
trade up.
But
we got to see what happens. But that's the way it's going to work. You're going to be seeing it all on the screen. You can ask what guys are still available. If you want to see, we can go through it all. So we'll have it all right here for you. Make it real nice and easy.
My man Chip, what a guy. I'm 100 says mock draft database is better. I've never heard of that. I'm just going to search it real quick.
I have heard it. Yeah. I think their rankings were either not, last time I checked, were either not quite updated or just a little whack.
Gotcha. Yeah, we're just going Pro Football Focus.
Or actually, you know what? That might have been the one. There was one that used to have like a mock draft and then it went away. I'm not sure if it was that or if it was the Draft Network. I forget.
Gotcha. As Crim's dad is in the building. What's up, Crimmy? What up, Crims? Happy Easter, brother. Thank you for reaching out, man. That meant a lot to me. I thought you forgot about me. And I woke up on Sunday and I had a text from Crim's dad. It was freaking electric. Stephen Blina says Pro Football Network is really good. I have found that PFF is the best. I think that they have the best rankings. Let's roll through these super chats, and then let's start our fan-led mock draft. Jersey Boy Cortez, thanks for supporting the show, man. With a good amount of running back left unsigned, do you think we can grab one for a 1-2 punch with Singletary? There's a couple free agent running back left out there still. Yeah, I would not be surprised, Jersey Boy Cortez, if the Giants go out and sign another running back. I know he's been injured, and I know it's a risk at this point, but I would love to see them kick the tires on J.K. Dobbins. One of the most explosive backs in this league. I think he really complements a guy like Devin Singletary. The injuries are obviously a very big concern. That's why I would only offer him a 1-year deal. that's an incentive-based contract. Like, you produce, you'll get paid. I'm sure he'll be looking for more, of a concrete structure type of deal. But yeah, I would not be surprised if the Giants go out and add another running back. But I think they'll circle that block after the draft in case that they get a guy they like in the draft. As Dubman, what's up, Dubman? He says, Marshall, I'm trying to get my social media up green. I am. James Yoder, CEO of Chat Sports, told me that my Twitter and Instagram suck. And it's never good when your boss tells you suck at your job. So I am begging you guys to please follow me on social media at @MarshallGreen_. The Bronx boy says, where's Captain Flaky? No idea. I have no idea where Seeps is. He just didn't show up to work today. Kid is ridiculous. He is truly ridiculous. All righty, let's get into this. I'm a little nervous. Are we gonna find a way, chat, to get the Giants in the playoffs? Let's see. All right. But I believe that the Bears are just going to make the pick. The Bears are just going to make the pick, and they're going to take Caleb Williams, number 1 overall. I assume once we start the mock draft simulator, that is what's going to happen. So let's do that. We'll have Caleb Williams go number 1 overall to the Chicago Bears here. I hope. If not, we're trading up to 2.
That's what they do.
If he doesn't get taken here, we're flying up to number 2. But we'll see where this goes.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. There we are. So number 2 is on the clock. Number 2 is on the clock. Reminder, as doesn't look like Washington is going to make a trade. They're just taking their guy.
They're taking Jayden Daniels.
Jayden Daniels is going number 3. Jayden Daniels is going number 3. Do we offer a trade to the New England Patriots?
Drake Maye is there.
Drake Maye is there. Do we want to trade up for Drake Maye? If so, we're going to need to give up a king's ransom. We'll set the clock for 1 minute here. If someone sends in a $50 super chat, they can make us trade up, and then we'll have to find out where we are. For me, if the draft fell this way, Jake Chipper, I would be calling New England and saying, what is it going to cost for me to move up? I don't know how you feel about Drake Maye. I believe he's QB2 in this class, and I believe he's going to be a stud in the NFL.
Yeah, no, I agree. He's QB2 for me. If he falls to 3, and it seems like the Patriots are willing to trade out, which by all accounts seems like they are at least exploring it.
Listening.
You do this, man. You do this.
I agree.
Because he could, love Caleb Williams, but you never know. Maye could end up being the best quarterback in this draft in 5 years, man. You just don't know.
You literally don't know. You literally don't know, and I honestly don't think the Patriots are going to trade out. I think if he is available, he's going to be picked. He's going to be picked. Please trade back, says the Hibby. We got a lot of no's on trading up, and we've got to a minute on our timer, so we're just going to let them make the pick here. They'll make the pick. Let's see who it is. And with the 3rd pick, the New England Patriots are selecting Drake Maye. So it goes quarterback, quarterback, quarterback. And now the Arizona Cardinals are on. Dubman says Marshall was traded his grandma to move up from 6 to 3. Grandmother would know what that means for us, though. She would be a soldier and do it.
She's a real one.
She's a real one.
She's a real one.
She knows what it takes. She knows what it is.
Anything for the trade up.
So now the Cardinals are on the clock. My question now to you is this. I will put another minute on the clock. Do we trade up here? Do we trade up? Send a $50 super chat. You can decide what we do. For me, with the way the draft is falling here, one, I think in this situation, a team like the Minnesota Vikings is calling the Arizona Cardinals. And they are trying to figure out what it would cost for them to move up to 4 to take J.J. McCarthy, which tells me that if you want to trade up, they will at least listen. But I've kind of gone to the point where I'm not trading up for J.J. McCarthy. If he's there at 6, I would take him.
Yeah, but how much are you willing to give up? To get to 4, you probably got to give up a second, maybe a third. I don't know if it's going to cost them the first, but
at least a future third, maybe a future second, maybe a third and like a sixth. But a minute has gone from the timer, which means we are going to let the Arizona Cardinals make the pick. And with the fourth pick, the Arizona Cardinals are selecting Marvin Harrison Jr. So MHJ goes to number 4. I saw someone say I would trade up for MHJ. That is something that I have thought about a lot. I have thought about trading up for Marvin Harrison Jr. But like, if I'm the Cardinals, I'm just taking Marvin Harrison Jr. I got Kyler Murray. I'm going to pair him with him. So are we trading up to 5 or are we sticking and picking at 6? At this point, it looks like you're going to either be picking between Neighbors or J.J. McCarthy or Rome Odunze. I wouldn't trade up at this point because unless you're just dying to get J.J. McCarthy. Michael Cook says this is where the Vikings trade to 5, both first this year and next year.
Could see it for sure.
I could see that for sure. Yeah, let's just roll it. Let's see who the Chargers pick. So no trades inside the top 5. Obviously, we can't control that. Rome Odunze, a little bit of a shocker at number 5. So the Giants are on the board. I would say in the poll chip, it should be J.J. McCarthy. It should be Malik Neighbors and Joe Alt. We'll go with those 3 guys in the poll. J.J. McCarthy, Malik Neighbors, or Joe Alt. So Chip is now going to see, or going to set the poll, and you guys go vote in
there
that
we go.
poll. We'll have it. Let them know the deal.
Yeah, so we got 2 minutes now on the clock. Pick who you want. Again, we have the super chat deals here, so if you want your votes to cost extra, go ahead. $50, you get to make the pick. You can do whatever you want with it. You can trade back. You can select any player you would like here for the Giants. But you know, if you take somebody that's a reach, the people aren't going to be too happy.
Yeah, no, don't mess this up.
Don't mess it up for us.
As Malik Neighbors is coming in as the heavy favorite. If you want the Giants to trade down, you could send in a $50 super chat, and we'll look at the offers, and we'll see where they are. At this spot, I would pick Malik Neighbors. But yeah, I really do believe if J.J. McCarthy is on the clock at 6, I believe the Giants are going to pick him, man. I really do. I hope I'm wrong because I think Malik Neighbors is a blue chip prospect. William Lano says, what are the offers?
So we could take a look at what teams are interested.
Yeah, let's see. I think there's a way, I can't believe that they went Odunze over him.
Yeah, Odunze over Neighbors is a little bit wild. And it looks like we're going to have a selection
as the Bronx Boy coming in with a $50 super chat. And it sounds like with the 6th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the New York Giants will select Malik Neighbors.
He's locking it in.
Wide receiver, LSU.
Woo! All right.
So, yeah, the only teams that really were interested, I saw the Saints were calling, but that's really about it. It doesn't matter, though. The Bronx Boy steps up as the general manager of the football team, and we're selecting Malik Neighbors. Grade the pick of Neighbors for me in the comments, A, B, C, D, or F. He says, I'm married 11 years. I don't bang often, but when I do, it's in New York Giants now as my guy, the Bronx Boy, coming in with a $50 super chat. Bang! And I honestly think here, Neighbors is the right pick.
Yeah, it's the right pick.
I think Neighbors is the right pick. I would take him here. I believe he is wide receiver 2 in this class. Had 89 catches last year, 1,500 plus yards, 14 touchdowns. He can line up in the slot. He can line up outside. He can truly do it all. And when he gets the ball in his hands, he is a threat to go all the way.
All right, so after we make this pick, do we want to go one by one to see if we want to trade up again, or just go right to the second round? Right to the Giants' next pick.
Let's go quickly, pick by pick.
Okay, just right to the next pick?
Yeah, right. Let's just jump. Do we want to jump back in? I don't know if I want to jump back in.
So we'll take Neighbors here. That's the pick.
Neighbors is the pick. Malik Neighbors, you are a New York Giant. Let's see where some of these QBs fall. So we had JJ go 11.
Yeah, we just had JJ go 11 to the Vikings. Makes sense.
JJ goes 11. So Penix still on the board. So is Nick's. Quarterbacks still aren't going.
So we're getting to the end of the first round still.
We're getting to the end of the first round. Pause it right here. Pause. And I believe in real life Penix will have been drafted at this point. Yeah. Do we trade up for Michael Penix? Do we trade up for Michael Penix with the Baltimore Ravens to pick 30? Trading up into the first round will get you an extra year on his contract. As my guy Mike G coming in with a $20 super chat. What up, brother? Shout out to Mike G. That's the Bang God right there. Show him some love. Give me some MGs in the chat. Says, Marsh, what up, brother? If we are picking between tier 2 QBs, you want Penix or Nix, assume we go Rome or Neighbors round 1. I am Penix over Nix by a landslide. I am Penix over Nix, and it's really not even close for me. We are doing a fan-led mock draft, Mike G, and we just selected Malik Neighbors in round 1. I'm going to put a minute on the clock. If you want the Giants to trade up, you could do it with a $50 super chat. For me, I don't hate the idea of trading up, but I'm also okay with sticking and picking at 47. So we'll put a minute on the clock.
Yeah, also not sure if he'll even be here.
Yeah, I'm not even sure he would be here, but we'll leave it up to the real ones. 40 seconds left. If we want to trade up to go get either of the quarterbacks that you guys are interested in, we will do that. If not, we will fast forward. We will fast forward to the 47th pick. The Hibby says stick a pick at 47. I'm 100 says maybe Nix falls to 47. As Mike G coming in with a $50 super chat. Mike, we're trading up here? We're trading up? All right, let's start working the phones. Let's start working the phones and see what it would cost to trade up. Mike G is sitting in the chair of GM Joe Schoen right here. All right.
So, obviously, we're getting 30.
We're getting 30. You got to give up 47. I also think you'd probably have to give up 70, right? Yeah. I mean, if you give up 70, it says this trade will be accepted. What about if you give up 107 and no 70?
25%.
25%.
Probably not going to happen.
Probably not going to happen. What about this? We give them 47. We give them 70. But they give us 113.
Still looks good.
What about they give us 93 instead?
65%.
What do we like this trade? Do we like this trade?
You're moving up.
Mike G, you ultimately are making the decision here on this trade. Let me know, would y'all offer this trade? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Pick 47 and pick 70. You move up 17 spots, and then you just fall back 23 spots from round 2 to round 3.
I kind of like the value there.
I think this is a win. I think this is a win.
At the end of the day, we'll see. It's up to Mike G.
It's up to Mike G.
If he likes this trade, we can also just force it through.
We could. I would like to know if that they would just accept the trade. Zach Attack says this costs too much. I don't understand how it costs too much. You're not losing any picks. You're still staying with 2 picks. You're simply moving up 17 spots, and then you're moving down 23 spots. I think it's a good trade. William Lano says, don't give up a third this year. Do a third next year. Okay.
I mean,
Mike G says, we get our guy.
Nah.
It's worth it. I don't think they would do that if we're just giving up a third next year.
No, that's 0%. They're not doing that at all.
Do the next year's third and then no 93 for them. Let's see what that is.
61%.
61. So you guys would rather give up 2 picks and get back 1 instead of give up 2 and get 2? I would rather net 2 the same amount of picks.
93s? I mean, that's a top 100 pick.
This is my deal. This is the trade I would make. Mike G, do you want to do this trade? Why for yes and for no? I would do this deal.
Yeah, if this is your guy, which in this scenario we're saying it is, then I think it's worth it. You get that 5th year with Penix.
Yep. I think we send it.
Send it?
I think we send it.
So should we see if they'll accept it?
See if they'll accept it.
Let's see what happens. Offer, trade. Here we go. They accept it.
They accepted it,
Bang, baby.
They're in the building. Mike G pulls off a draft day trade to get the Giants up to number 30. And now the question is, Mike G, who do you want at number 30? Who do you want at number 30, Mike G? Is it Michael Penix? Is it Bo Nix? Let me know.
Both still there.
Both still there. I'll ask the chat. Who would you rather have, Penix or Nix? Type P for Penix or N for Nix, as Mike G says that he wants. With the 30th pick of the 2024 NFL Draft, the New York Giants will select Michael Penix Jr.
Woo, let's do it,
quarterback,
baby.
Washington.
And there it is. And so
there
now
it is.
we don't pick again until 93.
Let's just fast forward. Let that roll to 93. If you come out of the draft with Neighbors and Penix, that's a good little draft for the Giants.
Yeah, you'll take that.
I'll take that.
All right, so we're up here at 93.
So we're at 93.
We can kind of go through here.
Let's look
players.
who's on the board. So we got Trey Benson, running back, Florida State. I'm a big fan of his. You got Christian Mahogany, the interior offensive lineman out of Boston College. You got the center out of Jordan, Van Pran. Wide receiver, Brendan Rice. Dominic Pooney. Kalen Bullock, Jerrion Jones. You got the stud safety out of Texas Tech. I would say, what position are we looking at here? What position are we looking at?
We can go through the positions as well. See everyone that's available. Is anyone else interesting down here?
I think we're good on all those guys.
Yeah.
You go Cooper Beebe for a guard, but I'm kind of good on that. Let's get it down to 4 players. I think Beebe should be on there just because of the need for the interior offensive line. Well, I guess the other guy was actually ranked higher. We could put him on there too. Let's go Beebe and then the guy Mahogany.
Boston College?
Yep. I'd say throw Trey Benson on there. And then, are there any corners? What are the top corners looking like at this spot? Jerrion Jones, rank 98. I'm down putting him
Top
on
guy
there.
available according to PFF.
Top guy available. Let's throw him on
I'm
there.
not seeing too much down the board there, so.
Let's go Jerrion Jones.
Of course, if you send in a 50, you get to make the pick. You can pick anybody.
It is the same. Once we get the poll going, we'll flash the deals as well.
All right, poll is up.
Poll is up.
We'll have 2 minutes.
And if there's another player you want, you can suggest them as well. You could suggest them as well. So let's get that rolling here. Vote in our live poll. Who do you want the Giants to select at this spot? Who do you want the Giants to select at this spot? Pick 93, as it looks like Jerrion Jones is the leading vote getter right now. These are our deals via Super Chat to decide if we want to change the pick or if you want your picks to count a little bit.
Just for reference, right now it says we have about 45 total votes in the poll. So if you send in a 10, that counts as 30 votes.
30 votes. You could really swing it.
You can swing it.
You could swing it. That's a good point. That's a good point.
Just 50 votes. So again, a 20, that's 75 votes. You pretty much are picking among the four here.
You are. As it's starting to even out now, Trey Benson and Jayden Jones.
It's close. We have a minute left on the clock.
Mike G, it's your birthday? It's not your birthday, Mike G. No way. No way. My man, MG. Get some HBDs in the chat for me.
MG. MG is a real one, son.
MG is the definition of a real one. I really like Jayden Jones, and I think corner is a little bit bigger of a need.
It is a tight race between Jones and Benson
right now. It is 30 and 31%. We got 29 seconds. We will pick the player that has the highest percentage. If you guys want to change the way, as Mark Estrada is coming in with a $10 super chat. Estrada, who do you want to pick?
Let us know, because you might be swinging it.
You could be swinging the whole pick right here. 10 seconds left. We will end the poll, I think, immediately, right?
Yeah.
Will it still show the votes?
It should.
It should. So there we go. If you want to end that.
There it is.
As it was 70 votes. There it is at the bottom.
Yep, so Jayden Jones.
As Mark Estrada is putting 30 votes towards Jones.
And that'll do it.
And that'll do it. Which means with the 93rd pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Giants are selecting cornerback Jayden Jones, Florida State. This is what Pro Football Focus had to say about him. It took a while for Jones to find a home at slot cornerback, but since doing so, he has shown valuable skills that should translate to the NFL. His quickness, both physically and mentally, projects well to the slot as a rotational DB or nickel starter. Jones transferred to Florida State after 1 year at Mississippi State, and he blossomed into an impact player. He was primarily an outside cornerback through the first 4 years of his college career, but his below-average long speed and recovery speed was exposed a little bit, especially when asked to play press. In 2023, he played in the slot and had a career year. He has the traits to succeed as a slot defender at the next level, boasting quick feet, hips, and acceleration to stick with players in space. He also brings great awareness of spacing and throwing pass, and he is consistently conscious of putting himself between the receiver and the ball. So pros and cons: quick and balanced footwork in his back pedal, quickness is a calling card of his game. It shows in his hips and acceleration. Willing run defender, even executed some rip moves to get around blockers, and run defense reliable tackler, and he's smart from the slot. The guy allowed 16 receptions on 32 targets. He had 3 interceptions. He allowed a passer rating of 25 when targeted last year. He's a pretty good stud. He's a pretty good player. Rob Simpy says, am I lost like a leprechaun without... I'm sorry, Rob Simpy. I'm not doing a great job keeping my eyes on the chat. Shout out to Rob Simpy. Let's do
Shout
it.
out.
All right, so the Giants are back on the clock at pick 107. Back on the clock at pick 107. All right. I kind of like this. I would say add Ray Davis and Marshawn Lloyd on there. Those
couple
are
running backs.
Couple of running backs on the board. Who else we got? Xavier Thomas. Add that tight end from Iowa at the top. I like him.
Eric All.
I think he's going to be a good player.
We'll get these three.
These three. And what's a DT looking like?
Let's see. So what are we at? 107?
107.
All right. So we're going to have Ray
Davis.
Eric
All. Marshawn Lloyd.
Cool. And let's take a look at DT.
Yeah. DT is another position I'm interested in here. Dwayne Carter, Leonard Taylor, McKinley Jackson. you're at 107.
Yeah, some of these start to become a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
Any other position you want to take a look at here?
What about safety? What's safety looking like? Tyree Smith, Cole Bishop. I'm not in love with any of those guys. Does anybody have a player outside of Davis, Lloyd, and the safety that y'all would want us to add to that? Taylor? Leonard Taylor? Where's he at?
Taylor. Is Rattler still out there? We already took...
we already got a quarterback.
We already got Penix. Leonard Taylor, I believe, was still here.
Was he?
From Miami, yeah.
Let's add Taylor up.
Let's add Leonard Taylor.
We'll add Leonard Taylor up there, 6'3", 304 pounds. I'm cool with that.
All right, so here we go. Poll is up.
Poll is up. We'll go 2 minutes on the clock to decide who the Giants are going to take at pick 107. And a reminder, you guys can change the way we make this pick if you so want to. But the poll is up. If you guys want to jump in and decide who wants to be the pick, there you go. Not getting a lot of love. I like Ray Davis. I know he's a little bit older. I think he's a good runner. But it's up to y'all. The deals are on the screen if you do want to change the way that we are doing this. But there's the way. I'd be cool with any of these players.
Yeah, at this point in the draft, all these guys are pretty, decent value for where we're at right now.
Yeah, I don't feel like any of them are reaches.
Shout out Eddie. I love Xavier Thomas because I'm biased. Clemson guy.
Xavier Thomas, good player.
Good player. Was in school for a long time. Just a little bit older, and he kind of will be what he'll be. He's never going to be a star or anything like that, but solid player on the defensive line. Just not too much there. He's kind of like jack of all trades, master of none.
Okay.
Just kind of solid all around.
As this one is another tight race when it comes to the poll, as we have 32% of the votes for Marshawn Lloyd and 34% of the votes for Leonard Taylor. We have 45 votes overall for the pick. So a $10 super chat could once again essentially make you the outright picker. Zach Vela, what's up, dog? David wants Lawrence Taylor. I wish we could get him.
20 seconds.
20 seconds here.
We're going to end it right when it hits that clock. So
Michael Cook says, traits, people, traits. As we are now tied with Marshawn Lloyd and Leonard Taylor at 33. 33. We got 5 seconds to go. 4, 3, 2, 1.
And
there it is. As the end of the poll will be with the 109th pick in the 107th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft. The New York Giants are selecting the big fella, Leonard Taylor, defensive tackle out of the University of Miami. Shout out to the U. The Giants have to improve on the interior defensive line. We all love Dexter Lawrence, but outside of that, there's a lot of question marks on this roster.
It's all about the U.
All about the U. So now we're back on the clock.
Round 5 here.
At pick 141. Is this our last pick? No, we have pick 183.
Yep, 2 more picks.
2 more picks. I really like Trevor Keenan here, man.
Get him on there.
I like Trevor Keenan. Improve the interior offensive line. He's a good player. If you guys have any players that you want us to add, Chip will just go down the top guys available.
I'm going to scroll
here. As
here.
you can see. Isaac Guerrero.
Wow, he was still there.
Let's put Guerrero on there. Let's put Guerrero on there.
That's a solid player.
I like him. Kalen King, Mason Smith, Grayson, Logan Lee. I kind of like Theo Johnson as well. as well.
Let's see. Anyone else of interest here? Zach Zenter's solid. Joe Milton still hanging around in the 5th round.
Is he really?
Yeah. James Williams, Miami safety.
If I could make this pick, I would just draft Keenan.
Jaheim Bell is a solid tight end from Florida State. So those are sort of the top guys available right now.
B says, I don't understand what we're doing here. Where are the special teams at, brother?
The special teams.
Hey there, brother.
There we go. You want a kicker? Here we are.
We don't need a kicker.
We're not taking it.
All right, so we have on the poll.
Trevor Keegan, Isaac Orendo, Theo Johnson right now.
Is
Just
there
those
another
three?
player we want to add?
Anybody got one?
Is there any player we want to add?
Is James Williams still there?
They want to add Theo Johnson. Is he there?
He's on there. Theo Johnson, Isaac Orendo, Trevor Keegan. We have those 3 right now. Someone asked about James Williams. He is still there. Zinter. We're not adding a kicker.
We're not adding a kicker. Scroll up. Let's just go with that Clemson edge.
My man, XT.
I'm down with adding XT there.
Love it.
You never can have enough edge rushers. So there we go. There we go for where we sit at here. We'll go 2 minutes on the shot clock, and you guys now need to vote in the live poll to decide who the pick will be. Who the pick will be. Our deals for Super Chats are there. We're also going to turn this video into another video on the channel, go out later this week, maybe this weekend. And I will grade this mock draft, and I'm not going to be nice to you guys because you're never nice to me.
I wonder what grade PFF is going to give it at the end.
I think they got to love what we've done.
I mean, Penix at the back end of the round, man. We've got some good value. We pulled off a trade that they thought was only 65% likely to be accepted. I think they got to take that into consideration.
Because we got 1:20 left, and right now, Theo Johnson is running away with it. No love for Keegan.
No.
I like him. Wasn't he like an All-American? He did get hurt.
I'm surprised. I guess Grendo's it's kind of a little closer than I thought, actually.
They're closing the gap now.
Only a minute left. Only a minute left.
A minute left. If you do want to super chat to make the pick, a $5 super chat. Rob Sempe, we love you. We love you.
Yeah, Theo's a good player. I don't know if he'll make it this far in the draft in real life, honestly.
You like Theo?
Yeah, I like Theo.
Theo.
Under 30 seconds remaining. 40 votes total. Theo Johnson leading the way.
I think Theo would be a great pick here.
Seems like it's going to be the pick. Matthew Judon retired. Hey, April Fools.
As we're 9 seconds away. 9 seconds away. And Theo Johnson is kind of taking a lead over Garendo. As that looks like it will be the pick.
Yep.
As 39% of the votes rolled with Theo Johnson. So the Giants at tight end, Theo Johnson.
There we go.
At pick 141. And now the Giants are on the clock for the last time today.
Last pick.
Okay, brother, the tall guy. I love it, brother. Love what we are doing here.
No. Oh, God.
Who do you want us to pick now, brother?
Who do you want, brother?
All right. What are the running backs looking like? I need a running back. Who do you like?
I like Cody Schrader. And
like-
Frank Gore Jr.? Jason, there's still some decent. Isaiah Davis. Rasheen Ali. There's still some good running backs here, man.
All right. What about the interior offensive line? We haven't gone there yet. And I think that could be a need for the Giants. Do we like any of these guys? I mean, at this point, you're just hoping for a...
I mean, you're just picking, Wisconsin. You can't go wrong with Wisconsin.
I ain't mad at that. Maybe we just go best player available.
Yeah, best
Chase
guys
Murdoch
right
says
now.
y'all are quoting sketch. I love it. Are we?
No.
It's okay, brother. Michael Cook says, look at tackle. Who we got at tackle? They want Miles Murphy. A couple people are saying Miles Murphy.
Here's tackle.
Do we like any of these guys? I mean, it's round 7. It's round 6, but it's our last pick.
Yeah, I mean, you're not working with a whole lot here.
You're not. Just go to the best available.
Just best available right now?
Let's see what we got at the best available.
So this is what PFF says are the best available players right now. Tyrone Tracy, Kamal Haddon.
The Giants met with Braden McGregor. Throw him on there.
Throw him on there.
Giants met with him. What's up with Kamal Hayden? Hayden, whatever his name is. Let's throw him in there. Another corner. Giants could use another corner.
All right, so we'll add Braden.
But Braden McGregor, Kamal Haddon. Did you have a running back that you liked the most out of those guys? I know Tracy's rated the highest.
Tracy's rated the highest. I like Cody Schrader. Frank Gore Jr. too.
What's up? Give me some juice on Schrader. What's his type of play style?
He's not the biggest, but white running back, electric. And I went to watch Missouri play against Ohio State in their bowl game down here, and he was feasting, man.
Is he a receiving more so back or?
Not entirely. He can, but he's sort of, do I think he's going to be a, number one day? Probably not. It's a 6th round. You never know that with running backs.
Chase goes, dang, I've been watching y'all since we hired Joe Schoen and Daboll, and it's a sketch comment you read. F yeah. Let's ball, baby. Let's go, Giants. All love, brother. All love, brother.
Miles Murphy. Some people want Miles Murphy. Frank Gore Jr. I mean, that's just the name.
Yeah. What about, is that Conor McGregor? I can't see clearly, brother. That should do it, brother. That should do it. What's the top? What are the receivers looking at? We'll go receivers, and then, Chip, you just make the call here.
Gotcha. Let's see.
I haven't gotten to my bag yet in the 6th round yet.
I mean, yeah, these guys down here. I can't say I know much about these guys down here.
All right.
If we want a running back, I'm gonna put in Cody Schrader.
Put Schrader in there. Thank you, brother. I'm dead. Y'all are funny.
And then I'd say we either go. We already have Haddon. I say we either go Miles Murphy, or is there another name I know down here? Or we could add a second running back.
Yeah, put 2 running backs on there. Or whatever
Tanner
you think is best.
Bortolini. I like the name.
Bortolini.
I like the name. You know what? Let's put Frank Gore Jr.
I like Frank Gore Jr. in there.
All
Zach
right.
Attack says so no kicker. Hey, if you want us to pick a kicker, ultimately a $50 super chat will swing the vote.
It gets it done.
If you send in a $20 super chat, you pretty much can pick the player because it's 75 votes.
2 minutes on the clock.
2 minutes. Dan as Daboll says, I'm glad, Chase. I've been here for almost a week and he haven't read one. F mines. I see you there, brother. I see you there, brother.
We see your comment, brother.
We see your comment, brother. Y'all are ridiculous. Frank Gore Jr. winning this vote is hilarious. I'm kind of down.
You never know. Hey, his pops knows what it takes to get it done.
Cody Schrader. There's no way Frank Gore is going to lose this.
No, he's
That's
already.
a 57%.
Unless someone sends in a 10-piece. And
A $10 super chat could ultimately choose who you want.
It literally, yeah.
It really could. Cal King says there's no way in shit that Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll Well, you spelled Shane and Daboll wrong, so. Dude's going to run with Pop, Michael. He's going to get downhill, and he's not afraid to put his face mask up in there. I like that.
Under a minute. Go vote in that poll if you haven't.
Vote in the poll if you haven't. And that will be our last mock draft pick.
Hey, this is where you win the draft, baby.
This is where you win the draft. This is where you win it.
And listen, I think it's going to be Frank Gore. Barring some
crazy super chat to draft a kicker, it looks like it's going to be Frank Gore. You know what? I like this draft.
Oh, you know who just went? The Washington running back, Dylan Johnson.
Really?
Went 3 picks before us to the Patriots. That would have been, I would have liked that pick a lot. The Niners took Joe Milton.
Really?
With the last pick of the 5th round.
Sincerely yours, you to go, man. I just wanted to do a fun, interactive mock draft. Y'all always, get to see who I pick, and I just want to see who you guys want to pick.
The timer's up.
Timer is up, and it looks like Frank Gore Jr. will be the pick for the Giants at 183.
Okay.
I'm with it. So we'll make that pick. And now I want you guys to grade the mock draft. PFF will grade it as well, correct?
Yes, they should pop up as soon as we're done.
Analyzing your draft, grading your draft. Let's see how y'all did. A+ for Malik Neighbors.
Okay.
A B for Michael Penix. A B+ for Jerrion Jones. A C+ for Leonard Taylor. C- for Theo. And a D- for Frank Gore, which gives us an A! It gives us an A! Denrod, thank you for the kind words, my man. So you get Jerrion Jones, Leonard Taylor, Theo Johnson, Frank Gore Jr., Michael Penix Jr., as well as Malik Neighbors.
Kind of like it.
I kind of like this draft. If there's anything I could change, I wish we would have got more so an outside corner instead of Jerrion Jones, but he was the best on the board.
Gave us a B+ for that pick. I mean,
I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
I'm surprised that Theo Johnson was only a C-. So
the chat loved him.
Yeah, it's all relative to their own rankings here, of
Love
course.
that. Grade the mock draft. PFF gives us an A. I'll give it a B. I think that's a B draft.
It's a B draft.
I mean, Penix turns out to be your franchise quarterback. It's an A+.
Oh, A+++, yeah.
Bronx Boy gives it a D. Motherfucker, you made the first pick.
Yeah, but look, y'all are grading it. We didn't make a single one of these picks, all right?
Dead.
We didn't make so y'all made these picks. So if you're giving it a D, well, you should have voted for something else.
Gore, I want to see some Gore. Love it, brother. Good, hard-working guy. Bronx Boy says the only pick I like.
It's all from the people, man.
Let's Be Giants gives it an A. Rashad says, I feel like they grade based on round, not value. Probably right. Look, you walk out with the wide receiver 1, you get a corner that can play in the slot, you get a potential franchise quarterback, you get a trait pick at a D lineman. I'm cool with it. Zach Attack says no kicker, so an F. So I feel that.
It's fair.
Exactly.
Rashad Penix at 47 is an A+. We actually traded up into the first round, pick 30 to get Penix.
And I like how we get Bronx Boy says QB5 and paid how many picks? We technically didn't lose any picks.
Yeah, we just traded. We moved back from what? From 40.
So we go from 47 to 30.
Right.
But we go from 70 to 97.
Right. Yep.
So you don't lose any picks. You still keep 2 picks. You just move down a little bit. But you also moved up 17 spots.
Worth it.
I think that was a hell of a trade.
Absolutely worth it.
Chase Murdoch says, hey, this is a let's ball and find out. You could say it, I could say it. Bronx Boy says, guard. I put a guard up there. I liked him. The dude from Michigan. No one wanted him.
We had some guards up there. Y'all wanted some other guys.
You did.
Good draft, though. I mean, you're walking out with neighbors. Like, come on, man.
Big sexy Dexy back there bombing field goals. Love the idea, brother.
I I don't know about that one, brother.
All right, let's get to the mailbag.
Yeah.
No one wanted Zinter. No one wanted Zinter, and no one wanted the other guy.
Zinter would have been a solid pick as well, for sure.
Oh, I'm dead. Bronx boy. You cracked me up, man. You cracked me up. All right, let's close the show with the mailbag. Hashtag Giants or Super Chat to get on the show. If you want hashtag Giants to get on the show, if you want to guarantee your question, get on the show, send a Super Chat and just make sure it's applicable to the Giants, brother. Cal King says dub channel after just giving us an F+ for the mock draft. So shout out to you, man. Shout out to you. Make sure you study for your test tonight. Yeah, I'm with you, Murdoch. I would have picked Zenter. Or I liked Keegan too. I like Trevor Keegan too. All right, hashtag Giants or Super Chat. Let's close the show with this. You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. Appreciate you for tuning in. We're going to be answering questions from subscribers in today's video. So if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel and drop a question for me down in the comments using hashtag Giants. We are about less than a month away now. We're really 3 weeks away from the NFL draft getting rolling. And it's time for Joe Schoen to get it right in the NFL draft. Will we pick a receiver, a quarterback, or what will we do at pick 6? We'll find out. My guy Mike G coming in with a $20 super chat says, Marsh, what up, brother? If we are picking between tier 2 QBs, do I want Penix or Nix? Assume we go Rome or Neighbors in round 1. For me, I am Michael Penix pretty far ahead of Bo Nix. I think Penix has one of the best arms in this class, if not the best arm, or right behind Caleb Williams. I think that from a clean pocket, he throws the ball better than anybody. I think he really puts a lot of stress on a defense because he can throw from this hash to that boundary and this hash to that boundary. I think he throws better outside the numbers than anybody in this class. I have Penix as my QB 5. I have Caleb 1. I have Drake Maye 2. I have Jayden Daniels 3, J.J. McCarthy 4, and Michael Penix 5. The reason I don't have Penix above McCarthy is because of the injury issues, as well as the fact that he's going to be 24 when the season kicks off, and J.J. McCarthy will be 22 years old in January of 2025. I would go Penix over Nix. I don't think Nix is a terrible prospect. I just think Penix has a much higher ceiling than him, and I think that he can win you games from inside the pocket by operating at a very, very high level. Justin Fowler, what's up, man? Should the Giants sign Xavier Howard, Stephon Gilmore, or Patrick Peterson? We've talked about this on the channel a couple of times, Justin, and I do think the Giants should kick the tires on signing a veteran corner in free agency. They had a meeting with Tre'Davious White a couple of weeks ago. That shows me that they have interest in adding a corner, and whether it be Howard or Gilmore, I'd take either of them. When it comes to Patrick Peterson, I don't think he's nearly the player he once was, and I don't even really think he's close to what Gilmore or Howard is. Howard's 30, Gilmore's 33, and Peterson's going to be 34 here pretty soon. If you're looking for a young corner to help develop, maybe a guy you take in the draft as well as Deonte Banks, I think that could be Peterson. But if I had to rank them, I would go Gilmore, Howard, and then Peterson. Gaming 101. Even with all the O-line we signed, should we still draft Joe Alt? For me, I love Joe Alt. I have Joe Alt as my number 3 player in this class. It goes Caleb Williams, Marvin Harrison Jr., and then Joe Alt for me. I think Joe Alt is going to walk into this league and be a superstar and have Hall of Fame potential. I've been pounding the table for Alt to be a Giant, but just with the way that the offseason has gone and the way that it seems like the Giants are attacking this draft, offensive tackle at 6 is most likely not going to happen. Which stinks because I think he's going to be great. And I think if you had Alt as well as Andrew Thomas, you'd be in a really good spot. But I don't think that's going to happen. And the Titans will probably pick him at 7, and they're going to have a great tackle for a long, long time. Name a player you want the Giants to draft, though. Is it Joe Alt? Is it Malik Neighbors? Is it Jayden Daniels? Is it Drake Maye? Is it Ladd McConkey? Give me a player that you want to see play for this football team next year. Kim9, G-O-D, says, I believe we should grab multiple wide receivers and give Daniel a year to have real receivers. Also gives us a chance to get possible depth for our what might be a multi-year rebuild. Yeah, I do agree that you need to go out and address the receiver position in the draft. I would look to draft a receiver in round 1, whether that be Neighbors, Adunze, or Marvin Harrison Jr. I would even entertain the idea of moving up to pick 5 if Marvin Harrison Jr. is still on the clock. When it comes to giving Daniel Jones receivers, yeah, if you're going to roll with him this year, then you do need to give him some help and some weapons and see where he's at. But I'm not just sure that there's much of a future here with Daniel Jones anymore. He'd have to do some pretty crazy things next year for him to be back on $47 million next year instead of $22 million saved by the Giants. And I think this is a multi-year rebuild. So I like drafting receivers and improving the team and then potentially drafting a QB next year. Michael Cook, what up, man? With Barkley gone, do you think we're going to get more Robinson in the backfield as a mismatch monster that allow us to go 11 personnel with Slay, Hyatt out wide, and Rookie out of the slot? With Barkley gone, do you think we're going to get more Robinson out of the backfield? I think they are going to have more of a game plan to get Wan'Dale Robinson involved this year. This regime clearly values him, right? They took him in the second round out of Kentucky. And I think they need to find a way to get him the football more. We've seen him get a couple of carries, a couple of jet sweeps, and little pop passes behind the line of scrimmage. Yeah, and the way if you can get Slay and Hyatt and him on the field at the same time, I'm cool with that. I would like to see them try to find a way to use him more as a mismatch guy. I like what you're going with that. Let's see if they do it, though. I think it's a good idea. I don't think it's a 10 times a game thing, maybe 5, but he did play running back. I believe it was at Nebraska before transferring to Kentucky. I know he played receiver before, running back before being a receiver, though, at Kentucky. I think it was Nebraska. Not 100% sure on that, though. Stephen Belinas, what up, man? If Daniel Jones replicates what Baker Mayfield did this year or what Geno Smith did in 2022, is that enough to give him the starting job for the future? The only way that I am not going to cut Daniel Jones going into 2025 is if I believe I can win a Super Bowl with Daniel Jones at quarterback. Look, if Daniel Jones goes and wins a playoff game for the second time in 3 years, he's going to be on this team next year. That's just the facts. For me, I need to leave thinking he can win a Super Bowl. And I don't think you can win a Super Bowl with Geno Smith, and I don't think you can win a Super Bowl with Baker Mayfield. My kind of motto that I've been going with in the offseason is when a team shows you their ceiling, when a player shows you their ceiling, you don't double down. You move on. And the Bucs did the opposite of that. They doubled down. They cashed out Mike Evans. They cashed out Baker Mayfield. I actually think the Bucs, the 2024 Bucs are going to be what the 2023 Giants were. Both teams overachieved. Daniel Jones won a playoff game. Baker Mayfield won a playoff game. And then the regimes almost went kind of all in. We'll see what it does for the Bucs. It didn't work out for the Giants. If he wins a playoff game, John Mayer is going to bring him back. I would not. I got to think he can win a Super Bowl, and I don't think one playoff win does that win, 14 or 16 teams make the playoffs every single year. We're going to be live for the NFL Draft, so make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Subscribe for free, informative, entertaining updates every day on the New York Giants. We'll get to more questions coming in from subscribers, but first, I got to give a huge shout-out to today's sponsor, 8 Sleep. Go to 8sleep.com/chatsports, and you're going to get $200 off plus free shipping. Today's episode is brought to you by 8 Sleep, the high-tech solution to your age-old sleeping issues. 8 Sleep's Pod 3 cover slips right over your mattress, bringing you heating and cooling tech that keeps you comfortable and sleeping deeper for a better, more restful night. I love 8 Sleep because it has totally stopped my night sweats. I'm someone that even when it's hot out or cold outside, I still need the fan blazing. And that was until I got hooked up with 8 Sleep. I don't wake up sweating anymore, and I get a great night's sleep. The pod cover will improve your sleep by automatically adjusting your bed's temperature based on your individual needs. The cover can be added to any bed like a fitted sheet. and allows you and your partner to cool or warm your side of the bed as low as 55 degrees and up to 110 degrees. Check them out. Go to 8sleep.com/chatsports and get $200 off plus free shipping on the pod cover by 8sleep. Invest in the rest you deserve with the 8sleep pod. 8sleep.com/chatsports. I will make sure all that information is clickable down in the comments and description of today's show. Shout out to 8sleep for being a proud sponsor of New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. The Hibby, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What up, bro? We talk about the top potential 6, but if we trade back with the Vikings, who will be available at both picks? Talk about players that will be available at 11. I'm looking at Quinyon Mitchell. The corner, I believe corner outside or receiver and quarterback is the biggest need for the Giants. And then I think you look to draft a receiver at pick 23. Will A.D. Mitchell be there? I don't think Brian Thomas Jr. will be there at 23, but maybe a guy like A.D. Mitchell at 23 and maybe a guy like Quinyon, A.D. Mitchell and then Quinyon Mitchell, both Mitchells at pick 11. That's who I'd be looking for. I think he's going to be a stud corner, and I think A.D. Mitchell's I don't know why I'm tripping out on both their names being Mitchell. But yes, AD is going to be a good receiver as well. Those are two guys I would look to target. As Adrian coming in says, love your videos. Watch them from Mexico. 2 months ago, JJ was supposed to go in the second round. What changed that had everyone having him as QB5? What changed? They aren't even playing anymore. That is a great question. I think what has changed is that these decision makers for NFL teams have gotten to go in the room with him. And they've gotten to talk to him. And they've gotten to see how he ticks and how he is on the whiteboard. That is something that coming out of the Combine, we heard at Chat Sports as we were at the Combine, is teams were in love with the way he was able to process information and operate on the whiteboard. I also think for a guy like McCarthy, you have to watch all of his games and all of his throws to get a full evaluation because he doesn't throw the football as much. So it takes longer to watch his tape. I also think, Adrian, that the media because look, when you're in December and I'm talking draft, I'm in January talking draft, we don't know yet what the NFL thinks. We learn what the NFL thinks on a player at the Combine. And the NFL has always been higher on J.J. McCarthy. So I think that's kind of the reason for that. In-person meetings, his ability on the whiteboard, more time to watch his tape, and the NFL just being ahead of what the media was on the take of J.J. McCarthy. You see all these people say, the more I watch McCarthy's tape, the more I like him. Because you have to watch more. Because there's just not a larger, you almost have to watch every game. You do. Whereas I only need to watch 5 games for Caleb Williams. I know he's a stud. I don't need to watch all 12, 14, 24 games of the college career of Michael Penix to know he can throw the piss out of the ball. So kind of where I'm at on that. Joe G, what up, man? Giants are projected to win 6.5 games this year, resulting in a top 10 pick, meaning Daboll will be gone. Is it too early to start looking at potential replacements? Yes, it is. And I'm not so sure that Brian Daboll is going to get fired. Giants have fired 3 straight coaches after 2 years. Giants don't want to have to fire another coach after 3 years, especially after you have a playoff win in one of those years. Progress will be needed, but I think if you're playing somewhat meaningful games in December and January, and if you draft a quarterback, you show some development and some evolution in their game, I'm not so quick to fire Daboll. I'm not, but let's see how the season unfolds. You win 5 games, he might be fired, but we'll find out this time next year. My guy Rashad, what's up, man? Thanks for always showing me love. I appreciate it. Do you really trust Joe Schoen with another draft? His first 2 drafts, I give a C-. I think he's going to blow this one too. I do still trust him. I do. Should I? I don't know. I thought what he did last year was what I would do. I would have traded up for Jalen Hyatt. I would have drafted John Michael Schmitz. You can go back and watch the reactions. I gave the Giants an A+ for their first 2 rounds, or first 3 rounds. And I feel like Joe Schoen, while he hasn't hit on any of his O-line picks, which is pretty crazy, I also want to credit or shed some of that blame on Bobby Johnson. Let's see how now those picks fit with Carmen Brasillo. Micah McFadden was a good pick. You get a starting linebacker in round 5. I like Dane Belton. Jordan Riley's been a good pick. DJ Davidson has been a good pick. But this will be a big draft for him, Rashad. He's got to nail. You have 3 picks inside the top 70. You gotta draft 3 starters. 4 picks inside the top 110. You need 3 starters out of those guys. You need 3 guys out of those. Dominic, what up, man? Thoughts on the Giants trading down with Minnesota, then trading back up to 9 pick? I don't think there's a trade down and then a trade up type of situation, but I'll play along. Is Odunze going to be there at 9? Is Penix going to be there at 23? I know we just got Penix at 30 in our mock draft, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think Penix may be off the board in the first 15 picks. For me, I'm not trading down unless I'm netting a future first-round pick, because at 6, you get a blue-chip prospect in Neighbors, Odunze, Joe Alt. Like, there's blue-chip guys at 6. Just stick and pick and add a really good football player. Mike G, what up, man? Is Blackman from the Colts good? The safety keeps hearing his name for the Giants. Wouldn't hate it, but thinking draft one. He is a good safety, and he's only 25 years old, and he really fits what Shane Bowen wants to do. He played a lot of his snaps this year, Mike, inside the box. Shane Bowen in Tennessee ran dime coverage 20-something% of the time. I think it's 24% of the time, the second highest in the NFL. Dime means you have 6 DBs on the field. And if you're going to have 6 DBs, you need guys that can tackle. And Julian Blackman was one of the best tackling safeties the last 2 years in the NFL. He operates out of the slot. He could be that single-eye safety. He could play halves. He could excel in quarters coverage as well. And Bobby Okereke has been recruiting him over on Twitter. Blackman would be a great fit for the Giants. I'm not so sure they want to allocate the resources, though, to that safety position, considering they didn't sign Xavier McKinney. But if I can give him a 3-year deal, $15 million, 5 a pop, yeah, I just don't know what his market is at this point. Predict the record for the Giants this upcoming year. We had someone say the line was 6.5. Over, under. Predicted record for the Giants. Very, very interesting to see what you guys have to say. Make sure you are following me over on social media at @MarshallGreen_ on Twitter, at @MarshallGreen_ on Instagram. Hit me up over there, and let's go Big Blue. Michael Cook, 10-7, I hope. 10-7, and we're popping champagne.
10-6 can't happen.
Rashad, great question, brother. Shout out to Chip for getting that up there.
Great question. We had some really, really good questions.
There was a lot of good questions in today's show.
Y'all helped me out. Y'all helped me out for sure.
Murdoch says, Daniel Bellinger has reliable hands. Why don't we throw the ball to him more? We didn't have very many good quarterbacks. and I just think he's a tight end, too. He's a tight end, too, in my opinion. Joey says, Chipper, what up, man?
What up?
Mike G back in the building. What up? T-Rex is here. What up, T-Rex? He says, after Kadarius Toney, please do not trade up. You got a chance for a blue chip player. Go get one. You know ball, brother. T-Rex knows ball. As the Bronx boy says, it's the Bang God's birthday. Let's serenade him. It is Mike G's birthday here on the channel. We got 180 people watching. Can I get 180 people to type HBD in the chat for Mike G?
Let's get it,
Can we get some HBDs in the chat for Mike G? The support Mike shows for this show, beyond just the super chats. I know we make a big deal of that. We like to show love. We like to hoot and holler. And we like to have fun. I can't remember the last live show Mike G missed. He's always here. He's always showing love. He brings juice to the chat. And that's all I can ask of any subscriber. Support the show, interact in the chat, and be a real one. Be a real one. Mike G, you are appreciated on this channel, brother. We are lucky to have you as a subscriber. And hopefully I'm in New York this summer and we're grabbing some beers. I'll bring the beers. Oh, is that Mr. Deeds when he's talking about going to heaven? He's like, I'll bring the beers. Let's Go Giant says, damn, I missed the mock draft. Go back and you did miss the mock draft. I thought it turned out pretty well. I know some people in the chat were complaining and crying.
I mean, 38% gave it a B.
30, I'm cool with that. B's are cool.
30,
B's are cool.
38% B, 32% A.
Eric, I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you. Mr. Deeds. Yes, R.I.P. Devontae Davis. That is very, very sad.
Sad stuff.
Very freaking sad, man. As HBDs are flying in for Mike G. That's good stuff. All righty. C's get degrees. Michael Cook, D's get degrees. I got a D. I got a D in elementary probability of statistics. Elementary probability and statistics. I got a D in that, and I got a degree.
Oh, I thought
No.
you said elementary. I was like, wait.
I don't know why it was called that. That shit was not easy. And it had a lot of homework. I ain't doing homework.
I thought you were talking about like elementary school for a second. I'm like, what? Like, what are you doing to get a D in second grade?
Yeah, no. That if you're getting D's in second grade, that's a problem.
That's an issue.
Alrighty. We've been live for 2 hours. I'm going to sign off. I appreciate everybody for showing love. Y'all are some real ones. We'll be back with videos the rest of the week. So subscribe, turn your notifications on, and let's go Big Blue.